What up? What up? What up? It has been a minute. It has been a long minute. But guess what? We are back. The three-headed monster. We're missing our fourth head, but he'll be back here hopefully later on this year. But we are back with square one. I am very excited about this year. I'm already, I think, in three,
Really,
maybe four fantasy leagues. So I'm ready. I think my first draft is tomorrow.
okay.
Nice.
Really quick before we go much further, I think if Roberto's not able to make it here, what we should do is make him write everything down in transcript. That way, for each question, we put his answer down at the bottom on the scroller.
Yeah,
Sounds like
yeah,
a good idea.
yeah. Roberto,
Make
he's
him
probably
work
out there.
for it.
He's probably there playing golf, living his Tiger Wood dreams. But hey, if you are a man, yeah, salute.
What's his handicap?
I don't know.
If
I don't know nothing
No
about
he
idea.
golf.
ain't on the PGA Tour already, he needs to either get on the PGA Tour or be here. I mean,
Yeah,
that's how I.
all I know about golf is hey, get the clubs, hit it far, try to hit a little hole, and that's it. Mulligan, a
Well, you
birdie.
forgot one important part: have beer.
Okay. I don't
You were
drink
supposed
beer.
to take beer with you.
I don't
And
drink
That
beer,
way, if
so
you
that's not an essential part. So that's another
shoot,
reason why
if
I
you
don't
shoot
like
like
golf.
crap, you have an excuse.
I got you.
Gosh, Danny don't drink beer. Boring. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean?
Take whatever you want then.
Yeah, I'm
Juice.
trying to
No.
be trying to be good. Yeah,
Grape juice?
some juice, some
Prune juice.
some no prune juice. No, I don't want that. I take some Gatorade Zero, Powerade Zero, a little bit of
Yeah,
lemonade.
yeah.
Put a little bourbon in it, you know what I mean?
Well, I know I don't want none of that. When I used to drink, now I used to like the old Bacardi rum. I was a fan of that,
Hmm. That'd be good in Gatorade.
but I'm trying. No, that was like crap. My go-to drink used to be that Disaronno. God, I used to love that.
The Serrano on the rocks.
Yeah.
So what? No drinking alcohol whatsoever, Danny? No,
Mm-mm.
no more? Really? Wow, okay.
Mm-mm. No, bro.
Okay.
Um, I am Danny Graham, the host here, and here are my boys, two of the people that I stream with the most out of anybody on the planet. That would be Anzo, Bigger Ford Entertainment. What's up with you, bro?
I'm doing good, man. Great to be back on Square One. And I
Yep.
can't wait to get into the
Oh,
spicy
Lord.
shit.
And of course, my brother from another mother, Mr. Chris Knight. What's up with you, bro?
Not much, man. Just working and doing my stuff, and I'm excited we're back doing this. I missed this.
Yeah. Now, since this is kind of impromptu, I didn't have a lot of time to come up with some topics, but I got 5 topics. I will promise you I'll do better as the season progresses. But the one thing that really piqued my interest was this right here. We're gonna go ahead and get into it. Let me see if I can share this right here. Boom! I want to share this.
I know exactly what Danny is thinking right now.
Well,
You do?
Oh, cancer. No, I was wrong.
No, negative. Naga.
Oh.
You ever heard of Naga? Dun,
I
dun.
was wrong too.
Naga. Native American group demands commanders reinstate the Redskins' name. Woo! When I heard
What?
this, I was like, yes, there is a God. The football God is upon us, and he is trying to get and guess what? The people that they were offended wants this back. So I was like, yes, it's even better.
yeah, because now they don't. Now there's no. I mean, like it wants to. Yeah. Okay. Never mind. I'm gonna.
All right, this is from
Yes.
the New York Post. New York Post. The name of the football team playing in Washington, D.C. is once again under question. A group called the Native American Guardians Association, NAGA for short, is demanding the Washington Commanders change their name back to the Redskins, organizing support for the name reversal with a petition that has gained more than 90,000 signatures. Wow, that is awesome. Sitting on down here in South Carolina, I'll definitely put my John Hancock on it. We all invite all Americans to stand up for dignity for every American under assault in today's increasingly nonsensical cultural ways, the petition says. This line in the sand moment reinforces undeniable history of the Native Americans assisting the founding of America with Native American principles used by the founding fathers in the U.S. Constitution and every American right to the First and 14th Amendment and not to be targets of cancel culture or ESG. This is not a simple left or right issue for Americans. It reaches across the political spectrum dating back to our founding fathers. Going down. The letter was addressed to the Commanders leadership group, including the new owners Josh Harris and Magic Johnson. Boy, Magic Johnson doing his thing. As well as head coach Ron Rivera. As an NFL franchise representing the nation's capital, you have a distinct opportunity to recognize the history and value of the American Indian, the letter continues. NAGA, which is led by a board of Native Americans, is a nonprofit organization advocating for increased education about Native Americans, especially in public educational institutions, and greater recognition of the Native American heritage through the high-profile venues of sport and other public platforms, including to its website. Disgraced foreign team owner Dan Snyder changed the organization's name in 2020 after years of pressure, beginning the 2020 and 2021 seasons with the name of Washington football team before opting for the Commanders moniker prior to the 2022 season. According to ESPN, the team could be looking to change its name again, following its sale to the ownership group led by Harris, largely in an effort to distance themselves from Snyder's disastrous tenure. So tell me, what do you think about this? Do you want to? I know y'all not Redskins fans, but I am a Redskins fan, and I'm going to go ahead and say loud and proud, I definitely want them to change it back, especially if the people that they were supposedly supposed to be offending wants it back. So I say, hey, let's get the people. Got to give the people, give the people what they want. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I want. I want the Redskins back. Anybody else?
Well, on my end of things, it's the same way if they came and tried to tell us to change the name of the Chiefs. Besides the fact that it wasn't necessarily named after any Native American thing, it does have that Native American feel. And listen, I thought it was ridiculous that they took the name away. I thought it was ridiculous they told the Indians, if you want them to change their logo or something to be less offensive, fine. But the name, it's a name. It's a team. It's not, it's not, and maybe I'm wrong when it was first put out there. Maybe it was a slight to Native Americans, but I seriously doubt that was the case. It was a name. It's a background of Native American, history.
The article said it best. It was cancel culture. That's all it was, plain and simple.
It is. Yeah. It is, but you got to understand, there's probably just as many people on both sides of this that are Native Americans, some that don't care or think it was ridiculous to get rid of it, and those who still think it was wrong. And you're going to get that on any topic. You're going to get that on anything where people see it both ways. But
you know what?
It was ridiculous.
You know what? To me, they have always been the Redskins. They will always be the Redskins. When I talk about them, I say the Redskins. I don't say the Commanders. I'm sorry. I don't think, I think, like you said, cancel culture. I don't know if people were really offended by it. There may have been some that were, but I think the majority kind of understood, you know what I mean, that it wasn't really supposed to be offensive. So I don't have an issue with that. I hope they actually give us back that Commanders. Give us back the Redskin name, man, because Commanders is garbage. Maybe if they had come up with something better.
Whoa. Oh, you said, okay, the name. Okay.
Yeah, the name. Yeah, the name. The team's garbage, too.
Hey, watch that. You were doing all right. But you got a little bit too in yourself. Let's pull back.
But, if they had come up with a better name, it'd have been like, okay, yeah, that's cool, that's fine, let's leave that. But fucking Commanders, look at him. Wow. Cousin T is on point, eh?
Chris must be can't see it.
Yeah, he said he'll be right back in the private chat.
Yeah, you wouldn't come back. Hey. But it's cancel culture, man. No, that's the only reason, because prior to those two seasons, they said the 2022 season, I ain't never heard Native Americans up in an uproar and all this kind of stuff. I've never heard that before until just cancel cultures came into existence around about the same time. That cancel culture came into existence right around the time of the COOF. Mm-hmm. And now every year it's building, it's like targeting something. Who we gonna target this morning? Let's wake up. They got a whole board on the side of the wall, and they take a dart and throw at it. Oh, NFL. Who can we pick at? So I don't see a problem with it, especially if this is a legit story, especially if these the people that supposedly was
Offended by
offended
it.
by it, and they're like saying, "No, we're not. We want it to come back." So I'm cool with it.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, man. Because it seems to me like, especially when it comes to cancel culture, it's like they look for anything they can look for to say, "Oh, this is offensive." Pepe Le Pew, let's cancel him. Oh, the Redskins, let's cancel this guy. Like
Yeah,
they have nothing else to do but to sit around and look for things to get
I
offended by
can't
it. It's so
believe that they
ridiculous.
canceled Pepe Le Pew,
Ridiculous.
Yosemite Sam. Who else it was? What? It wasn't Emma Fudd.
I think it was Omar Fudd too.
Really?
Ridiculous, bro.
Like Pepe Le Pew was trying to actually rape that cat. Really? Come on,
You
man.
know what I mean?
You used to
And
see.
yeah, it wasn't. He was. Yes, he wanted the cat. He may have been aggressive, but there was nowhere there where he was trying to, take the poo poo.
Back there.
Oh God, Chris, cousin T got a message for you.
What?
Cousin T got a message for you.
What? I don't know what he's talking
Just-
about. Anyways. So what? So you guys are talking about Redskins still, and yeah, I think it's ridiculous that they got rid of the name. I thought it was ridiculous that the Cleveland Indians got rid of their name and went to the Guardians. I mean, Guardians make sense at least in that town because they had the Guardians on the bridge, but I don't know. I just find it ridiculous. These things weren't made in a slight to the cultures that they were put in there for, and you can't just take down everything because you think it was wrong. I mean, let's just ask you: do you think every statue of George Washington should be taken down because he was a slave owner?
Nope.
Okay, that's my point. It's like I understand that slavery isn't considered a thing anymore, but back then it was a normal thing. It's like, so I don't know. It's like you can't hold today's values to when something else happened.
In the past. But hold on,
Yeah.
let me Austinator, you need to watch your mouth, bro. I thought you were a Steelers fan. What are we doing here?
Oh,
Yeah.
what did he say?
Tell the truth. Preach, alternator. Preach.
Now hold up. Washington isn't good, but to be fair, Pittsburgh ain't great either. Pittsburgh has had a better record than Washington in the last fucking at least 5 years.
Well, a lot of people are actually thinking Pittsburgh's going to make some noise this year.
And they probably will.
Uncle Tom. Oh, I'm sorry, with Tom.
Wow. Wow. And I can't and I can't find him on Danny, right? So I can't say shit about the Redskins, but he can sit up there and talk all the shit he wants to talk.
I didn't say nothing. I said I called his name Tom.
You call him what?
Hey, Lonzo, there's always tomorrow.
Oh yeah, I got
Ain't
you.
his name Tom?
But that's not what you said. You said something
I
before
thought
the
his name
Tom.
was
though.
Tom.
His
Mr.
name
Tom.
is Tom.
Mr.
But
Tom,
you
didn't I say that?
That you did not say Mister.
Wow.
I'm just not a fan. Well, y'all know my issues with him, but I digress. I'm gonna put it behind me because it's not a good look to be hating on somebody that I really don't know. But I'm telling you,
Or
he
you know
just
what I mean?
really-
That has our pigmentation.
Just cause you got the same pigmentation, I mean, you my friend.
No, that's true. But we want us to succeed, right?
Yeah, I want to succeed, but man, I just don't. I don't like. I'm gonna get past that though. I'm gonna get past that. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna turn over a new leaf. I'm gonna try not to call him something negative anymore. I don't know if I'm gonna do it. Be a hell, but I'm gonna try.
Oh, good.
Okay, we're gonna go to the next thing, which to me is even more preposterous than not preposterous, but it's in the realm of insanity to me.
Can't you return back farther?
Huh?
Nothing. I'm talking to my son. He's in the bed. Sorry.
Okay,
Go
this
ahead.
will be the 104th season of the NFL this season. And of all the teams in the NFL, opening day, September the 2nd, we got to see the champions, which I don't have a problem seeing, playing the Detroit Lions. Why in the world do we want to see that? I don't understand that. Of all the teams you could pick in the NFL, we got to watch Goliath basically face David. And in this game, David ain't going to win. So why are we seeing this? I don't understand this. I don't understand what is such the allure with Detroit Lions. Thanksgiving Day, they always get to play. Christmas Day, they get to play. What is so magical about Detroit? Somebody please tell me.
I have no idea. But I think I have a theory, Danny. They want us to buy fucking NFL ticket, right? So they put on these bullshit games. It's like, hey, if you guys want to watch the games you want to watch, get the NFL League Pass.
Bro, I guarantee you I won't watch it if it ain't on the highlight. I'm not watching that game. I don't care if it's the first game. What day is September 7th? Is that a Thursday night or is that a Monday night?
I think it's Thursday.
Yeah. It's this next Thursday, yeah.
I won't be watching it. I guarantee you I will not be watching that game. I watch the highlights next day on First Take Undisputed. But I will not watch this. No.
I probably won't watch either unless I catch a score and I see it's like 14-14 halftime. And I'm like, wait a minute, okay, let me see what's going on
now,
here.
I will watch it if David does start beating Goliath. I'll watch that.
Right.
I'll be like,
yeah.
That's just fire for fodder for the Chris toasting at the end of the year. I'll be like, yeah.
No, see, but you guys aren't you're not gonna like what I had to say about it. I mean, a lot of people think that Detroit has a chance.
He couldn't have built an excuse, audience.
Yeah, I know. Right?
He's about to build it in now. I don't think
even around here.
I don't think they're gonna win again this year. I'm just saying they don't look as strong as they did last year. And then when they win a Super Bowl again, I told you.
Yeah.
I didn't say that.
No, he says, I told you guys I didn't think they would do it, but I'm glad they did.
Yeah, that's it. That is it.
When it came up to the final game, hey, I'm like sitting there going like, well, I'm not sure.
Do not fall for this okie doke. That is a bottle of bamboozlement. Do not fall for it, buddy.
Because you guys do not understand that I'm a realist. I'll tell you how I think it is, and when I'm wrong, I'll go like, well, I'm glad it turned out that I'm wrong.
That is Kansas City snake oil. Don't back. Do not.
Because Danny, he did the same fucking thing with the fantasy league. Oh, what is this?
Oh my God!
Yeah, he's like, what is this? How do you play this again? How do you play this again? I'm not sure on how you pick.
Last year, I didn't know, and I learned last year. I played. I did pretty damn good. This year, I'm hoping to do better because last year they freaking took a whole game away from me, so like 7 of my guys didn't get to play. Anyways, no, you see, you guys don't understand. I'm a realist. I look at the way things are, and I say, okay, well, let's just look at this, and I call it the way I see it. I was wrong, but in my favor, Chiefs won. Good. So I win in both ways. If I lose, I win because I picked the right team. If I lose, hey, no, that's not always going to be the case. That's how it worked out. But all I'm saying is there's a lot of people that think Detroit has a chance in this game. I don't see it because every year the Detroit, I think Detroit sets their sights on the moon and everybody believes in it. And then 4 games in, they realize that, it's Detroit. We should have done this. But
there is nothing, and I mean short of God coming out himself and saying, Danny, Chris ain't lying, that I'm ever going to believe that you think in your heart of hearts, when you by yourself in your room and saying, who's going to win the NFL? Oh, that's going to be Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs.
I don't know that. And I don't
you already think it. You already think it, Chris. Because half the world thinks that, Chris. Half of the world already
want it to happen, but I don't always believe it's going to. I'm not like that.
He's on stream with us saying that, but when he gets off, he's like, "Yo, Kansas City's gonna win this."
Yeah, I'm certain.
Whatever.
Yeah, they got this, man. I gotta play the part for Danny and Alonzo, but
whatever. Oh my God,
he gonna be like, only way you'll change your mind now is Patrick Mahomes or Travis Kelce get
It's
hurt for
injured
the
or
rest of the
some
season.
shit.
Then you be like,
Facts.
oh, that ain't gonna happen. But other
Facts.
than that,
No,
them two Bulls going.
my worry right now is our defense because Chris Jones hasn't signed yet.
Bruh, I'm telling you right now, my favorite is Kansas City Chiefs, and barring any kind of catastrophic injury, they ain't going. Now,
My favorite is
my,
Kansas City Chiefs too. I think they
now,
can do it, but I don't know if they're going to. I sit there and I look at it
yeah,
all the time, like I don't know.
yeah.
Although I think our offense is going to be better this year.
Now, on paper, and I don't want to jump to another subject. You know who I think, who I want to go. I ain't gonna pull
The
for him.
Jets.
Oh yeah,
No, he
I
no, he
want
wants the Steelers to go.
no, that's negative. Negative.
He wants
I think
Uncle Tom
I think the
to
Jets
go.
will make the playoffs for sure.
I'm going for the Steelers. I don't give a fuck what any other team is, how good the other team is. I am not picking another team until we get to the Super Bowl, and I have no fucking choice to pick another team. But right now, Steelers all day, every day, baby. Fucking right. Just like
Well,
the
we should pick. We should just pick right now. How many teams go to the playoffs? We should pick our playoff
No,
teams right now.
I ain't.
I'm not doing that right
That's too.
now.
That's too early. Too early. I gotta watch. I ain't watched the first preseason game yet, so I'm gonna hold off until at least the second week of the season when I see everybody play. Then I'll start making an informed, intelligent decision. Right now, I know. And then now,
Because we got-
and one and
I'll
something.
tell you, our second and third string.
I don't want to tell y'all who I'm picking the thing, and right now that person name is questionable. So I'm like, ooh.
Oh, really? Huh.
No,
I-
no.
Next week is the draft, guys. Next week,
I'm
Sunday is the
not
draft.
revealing any secrets.
What day? Sunday.
Sunday at
Next-
6:00.
Okay.
What up, Sean? This guy here
What
going
up?
to segue into the next topic, which is, of course, that bad man, brrrr, gunslinger. Oh yeah. Let me in honor of him. Let me go ahead and do this right here, because that is what he is. That bad man. He's going to the Jets, and on paper now, I'm just saying on paper, they are the favorites. Now I'm scared because they're going through a juggernaut of a doggone division. But Lord, if the football gods are smiling, I want that man to get his second Super Bowl ring before he retires, and I don't care who it ticks off.
You seen the video I sent you, right, Danny?
Which one?
With Aaron Rodgers, where he was doing the little. Okay, so I sent Danny a little. I can't believe you didn't see it. Aaron Rodgers, he was doing a little. How you do your thing with your team,
Yeah.
and what they were doing was pass the spliff. So one fan pretended like he had a
I
spliff.
think I seen
Aaron
it.
Rodgers grabbed it and went. And I'm like, yes, this motherfucker burns. The way he held it, like I know he's on the offseason smoking weed.
They
So
probably
he ain't
don't
with his
test him.
shit.
They probably don't test him for that.
No, I don't think they do either. He burning. He's a weed smoker.
No,
Yeah.
I don't.
I know now.
Guaranteed.
Well, in some departments, they don't
It's
test.
legal. It's
us
legal though in
because-
New York, so it doesn't matter.
They don't test us in some departments because the test is expensive. I mean, it's crazy expensive.
Yeah. Accurate ones are.
You guys are about to legalize weed anyways, I'm pretty sure, sooner or
Well,
later,
so,
right?
it's not half the states in the United States, but it's a good portion. If I had to say, if I had to guess a percentage, between 10, 15, maybe 20% of the states in the United
No, it's
States.
more than that. Hold on.
It's more than that. Oh.
Yeah, I
I don't
think
think.
so.
I don't think it's at 50 yet.
No, it's not.
How many states have legalized? Let me pull that up while y'all talking.
It's all good. But yeah, you know me. I'm glad he went to the Jets because the Jets are garbage. The Jets ain't gonna go
23
nowhere,
states.
and we are going to get to see that fucking Aaron Rodgers is still and always will be overrated.
Until he goes to Pittsburgh, then you will be all up on him. Oh God, thank you for saving us.
Unfortunately, he signed how many years with the Jets, so he probably won't be coming to Pittsburgh. So
Three.
I really won't have to worry about that. You know
Let's
what I mean?
see.
So,
Alaska is fully legal. Arizona, that's
23 states.
23 states.
Yep.
So
Almost half.
just under 50%.
okay, not bad.
But it's coming. Only reason, okay, I will give you that Aaron Rodgers can be a butthole. I will give you that Aaron Rodgers be very
wow.
selfish. I would give you that Aaron Rodgers probably was just as much as the fault some of the stuff in Green Bay that went transpired. But he is one of the best quarterback story footballs I've ever seen. He has a swag about him that I like, and I believe that they lost faith in him, and he didn't have the right pieces when he was in Green Bay. On paper, he has the right pieces, and if
All
everything
right.
gels right, he has the ability to take that team far into the playoffs. And if the football gods are on his side, he can be at. He was just the past 2 years. He was one game away from going to Super Bowl. Just let that sink in. He won more MVPs than any other quarterback. I think him and Peyton Manning is tied for it. But back-to-back MVPs. So he has, whether you think he's overrated or not, he has the criteria. He has mojo, whatever descriptive word you want to use. Whether you like him or not, he has the pedigree and he has the background to back it up. I just don't think he had the right team. He was pissed off. The coach was pissed off. I think he just kind of wore out his welcome in Green Bay. I don't think that's
Um,
the case here.
so, I mean, if we're being honest right now, let me just say this. So Tom Brady still isn't the GOAT. So I'm just going to
Oh,
say
Jesus,
Uh,
motherfucking Christ.
oh,
Really?
wow.
So I will say, if you want my odds-on favorite for the winner this year of the Super Bowl, it is the Kansas City Chiefs. I won't deny that that's what I believe. It's
Clip
just
it.
I no, you're fine. I
Okay.
just don't ever. I see the
I'll be right
problems
back.
in
I'll
our
be right back.
team. So that's where my problem always comes down to, is that I see the problems and I'm like, oh man, I don't know. Oh well.
Listen, but you got to understand too, right? And I've said this many times, like when you have a quarterback like Patrick Mahomes and you have franchise quarterbacks like that, you
Hmm.
always are in, right? Now,
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers will probably help the Jets, but
Hmm.
other than that, I don't really know what kind of off seasons moves they've done. I don't know how good their team is going to be because you can have Aaron Rodgers there, but if you don't got no wide receivers to pass to, or if he does and the defense sucks, you know what I mean? Because football is not just about the offense. Your defense has to be on point too, right? And it's hard to have a good team that is good on offense and good on defense. So
Yeah.
we'll see what happens with him in the Jets. I personally think he could have went to a better team, but that's just me.
I
Yeah,
don't know,
but he
man.
got exactly what.
If I'm not mistaken, they got a top five defense. I'm sorry, Chris, for cutting you off. They got a top five defense last season, which has not been moved or shuffled around. Did they sign Dalvin Cook? Not Dalvin Cook. That receiver that they just signed. He's like a top five receiver.
Well, you got to put things around him. That's for damn sure.
Yeah,
You can't just have Aaron Rodgers there and nothing for him to throw to. So
they got a top notch number one receiver. Jets roster. I want to make sure I say the correct thing. They got Alan Lazard, who's coming from Green Bay, so they have a rapport with each other. They got Randall Cobb. They got Dalvin Cook as a running back.
mm,
Will McDonald as defensive end. Garrett Wilson, a wide receiver. Sauce Gardner is a cornerback. You got another running back, Brees Hall. I don't know much about him. Nicole Harbin, wide receiver. So they got a good receiving core.
They got
And one,
Hartman.
yep.
Oh, okay.
So they have a good receiving core. They got a true number one in Alan Lazard, who, like I said, him and Aaron Rodgers play on the same team. Randall Cobb, he's an old pro. He got the old head in there. So I think that if they, bar an injury, because they in a tough division, and if things go right and the football gods smile on them, they can make some noise. There'll be a team that I guess, nobody don't want to go up against. I guarantee you that. So my fingers and toes are crossed that Aaron Rodgers gets his second Super Bowl before he hangs it up. So that is my wish. I know y'all don't want to see that, but
I don't want to see that because I don't want him to have the same as Roethlisberger.
oh my God, the Hamburglar. You mean?
Well, I mean, their defense is, like you said, it didn't change. They had the rookie of the year on defense last year, or on the defensive side in the AFC was there last year. They've got a good defense. I think the issue, and here's the thing, there's two sides of this. One, the reason why he went there was because they basically said, here's the people we have, here's who's available, what do you want? And they basically gave him, they basically let him be the GM for the offseason, literally.
And we got to mention, he took a $35 million, not $35,000, not $350,000, a $35 million pay cut to try to get people. Aaron Rodgers has never done that before.
You see, that I'll give respect for, right? Because I find a lot of players are greedy, especially, towards the end or whatever. But if you want to win, you can't eat up salary cap, right? That's why certain teams, and I'm going to say it, I know you guys are going to probably say, but that's why the Spurs were able to stay in contention every year.
I'll give you that.
Because Tim Duncan always took a pay cut, you know what I mean?
But to be truthful now, Michael Jordan never got what he deserved.
No, I agree. Yeah.
Until like his last contract.
Yeah, for sure, 100%. But
really
I don't
quick.
think. Yeah, go ahead, Chris.
I'm just going to answer Austinator. How many rings does Patrick Mahomes have? 2. He's been to 5 championships, 3 Super Bowls, but his 2 rings are legitimate as opposed to like 8 of Tom Brady's that aren't. So,
Whoa.
You know what I mean? You let you pass the first time.
You let you pass, but you're not going to come on here and disrespect the GOAT, okay?
He's not the GOAT.
Yes, he is. He is the GOAT. Statistically, he is the GOAT. I don't care what you say. Statistic-wise, he is the GOAT.
No. Handing out. Listen, just because. Yeah, never mind. I'm not going to get in that fight right now. It doesn't matter. But he's not the GOAT.
He's the GOAT. Spell it.
That's like saying Michael Jordan's not the GOAT.
GOAT. GOAT. See, it rhymes with boat. Rhymes with moat.
No. But that's all right. You guys can think what you want. I mean, I allow you to be wrong a lot. So.
He's the GOAT. He's statistically wise. Who's better?
Doesn't matter. Again, half the time, he's had more scandals.
We're not talking about on opinions. We're talking about
he's
really
had more scandals and more chicks come up that have helped his stats.
It doesn't matter.
Even the stats aren't really his.
It doesn't matter if he had all that under him. If he never been proven guilty, you can't spend a night in jail if he ain't been proven guilty.
Let me ask you this, Chris.
He's been proven guilty though. That's the problem.
So let me ask you this, Chris. Do you rate the Toronto's championship, the one they won, Toronto Raptors? Do you rate their championship?
I don't know. I haven't looked into it. What's up with it?
Because they won with Kevin Durant injured and Klay Thompson not playing. That's part of the game. Those shit happens. But they still are champions, regardless of anything. They still are champions.
I'm talking about scandals that were cheating and things like that.
Yeah, but if you cheat and don't get caught, is it cheating?
Hold on just a second.
And to your point too, Danny, right? No problem. And to your point too, Danny, right? So he has what? 8 championships?
Yes.
He had a cheating scandal with Spygate.
Yep.
And he had that
Deflategate.
Gate.
Yep.
Still got 6 if you want to say that, right? He still got 6.
I'm just saying, I like Tom Brady. I don't love him. But if you want to call a spade, statistic-wise, there has not been a better quarterback statistic-wise. You ain't going to like it. I really don't like it. I wish somebody else was it. But the second to go. I don't like the fact that LeBron James gets all the praise he is. But if I'm being totally honest, he is the second best basketball player in the NBA.
Some people say he's the GOAT.
Yeah, I don't believe that.
Okay, thank you. I don't believe Tom Brady's the GOAT. I don't care what you say.
But I'm saying statistic-wise, Jordan has better statistics than him.
I don't give a crap.
Okay.
Listen, there are people out there who never won a championship that have ungodly numbers in baseball. They were never on a championship team. Nobody's ever going to call them a GOAT.
But
Even if they
who they call a GOAT in baseball? Like Babe Ruth,
No,
Reggie
I
Jackson.
don't even know.
I've heard
I
that.
wouldn't even know. 'Cause I mean, yeah, sure. People might think Babe Ruth was, but I personally don't call him the GOAT. I don't care what his stats are. I think he's a rotten human being. I think he was a rotten player to the people he played with.
Wow.
He was a craptastic liar. Constantly. He's still doing it.
How can you not know a man, never met this man before, and just assassinate his character like that?
Because I've seen it play out. It's coming from the guy that just called somebody Uncle Tom about 20 minutes ago.
Hey, I don't remember saying that. I thought I said Mr. Tom. I thought I said Mr. Thomason. That's what I thought I said.
And it's funny. And it's funny because all the shit Aaron Rodgers did back like off the field and stuff, he gets a pass. But give Mike Tomlin, no.
Only reason I'm mad at Mike Tomlin is because I feel in my heart he messed with somebody's money. I got a problem with that. Maybe he didn't, but from the optics of it, like he messed with, man, you don't mess with nobody, especially running back. If we're gonna segue into that, because running backs now are being devalued. I don't know if y'all been keeping up with it, man, but they are trying to me, like they're trying to just totally annihilate, get rid of that position at all, and I don't think that's right.
What?
You know what it is? It's because everything now is it's like a passing league now. You know what I mean? It seems like back in the day, you would use the running back to open up the pass, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now
they still do.
I don't think football will be the same if they take away the running back position.
They're not going to take the running back away, I don't think.
But they're trying to divide them and trying to not pay them nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yes and no.
Okay. Elaborate on that.
So I'll use Chris Jones as an example here with that, all the stuff going on with that. The guy's going to be 30. Your play goes down. He's a defensive guy. He's out there a lot. There's a lot of things, but he thinks he's worth Aaron Donald money, even though he already got his first big contract. And he's probably going to be on the downhill turn. And so we don't want to pay him that. I understand that. Now, the Jonathan Taylor thing, I'm not sure how much of that is it, but think about how many, and this is more the point of why they're trying to not pay them, is probably more because it's the fault of people like the Cowboys and Ezekiel who didn't live up to the
contract that they had.
So it's both of their faults. And I'm trying to think of other people. I mean, Kareem Hunt has been not as much, but that's again Cleveland's fault for paying him. He not performing, and what that is that's too many times the team, and I mean it's not necessarily Hunt's fault because Chubb's also on there, and that's really hard to give the ball to two, running backs that are that good, but when teams pay and then it doesn't pay out, that hurts both sides. The team, the rest of the team's looking like, well, that's why I'm not going to pay my running back that, even if they have a stellar year like Jonathan Taylor had. And it's because then on the other side, the players who have gotten paid don't pan out. They just fall off.
You can say that same thing for any position. How many times have you seen these QBs come here? It's crazy. Like, for instance, I'll give you a prime example. Deshaun Watson got an ungodly amount of money. Ain't touched a football in almost 2 years. And now this year he's going to be able to start. But how about there's going to be ring rust. There's no doubt in my mind there's going to be ring rust.
100%.
Is he worth that kind of money?
No.
Who?
I don't think so. Deshaun Watson. I don't think so.
No, go ahead. Well, I was going to say, that's the thing. You paid Deshaun Watson, and I'm not going to go into all the background stuff because, that all went away except for civilly. But you pay a guy who hasn't been in football for literally now a year and a half. His first snap last year was like in the the ninth game, I think. And when that happens, you are fundamentally screwing over any potential quarterback from that point on. Patrick Mahomes is doing well with that contract, but he also took less. He took a team-friendly deal. And that's what most teams are going to look at and go like, well, look, Chiefs got Patrick Mahomes. He took a team-friendly deal, and look at what they're doing. Deshaun Watson, we don't know yet what Deshaun Watson's going to do this year, so we have to see. But if he goes and lays a turd, teams are going to look at it and go like, well, look, when they get paid exorbitant amounts of money, they go and crap on the field. So why am I going to do that with my quarterback, whether or not the quarterback's worth it or not? And that's the thing. And excuse my language, but shitty teams are fucking it up for everybody else out there because they're paying exorbitant amounts of money, and then it's not paying off. And so the teams who might have that money are looking at it and go like, I'm not going to do that because I know how to use my money.
Yeah. And you know what's funny? Oh, sorry, Danny. I was just going to say this. I think you can tell which players want the bag and which players want to win by the amount of contract they take or they ask for. You know what I mean? And I think there's not enough players in the league that want to actually win championships instead of their own numbers or stuff like that. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
It said, why star NFL running backs have been devalued? What's next? This article is coming from ESPN, and it says something feels wrong about what's happening for running backs in the NFL. As teams approach training camps later this month, 4 respected veteran rushers remain free agents, seemingly with little interest. Kareem Hunt wasn't re-signed by the Browns, and his contract expired, while Ezekiel Elliott, Leonard Fournette, and Dalvin Cook were released by the prospective franchises to create salary cap space. Wow, that is crazy. None of the 4 has signed elsewhere. Popular veterans getting cut toward the tail end of their careers is nothing new, but the age at which players have now become free agents stands out. Cook, Elliott, and Hunt are all 27 years old. Wow, that is crazy. Fournette is 28. 27-year-old stars at the other positions are years from being cut candidates. No team would dream of moving on without Myles Garrett, Deebo Samuel, or Buddy Baker, each of whom is 27. Those 27-year-olds who have played their positions are in the primes of their careers. Meanwhile, 27-year-old running backs are being portrayed as fossils, hanging on to any hope of meaningful NFL career for dear life.
Wait a minute.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, does this article take into account whatever those people were asking, and were they really worth it? There's the thing that we have to look at.
I wouldn't pick up Ezekiel Elliott. I think he's a bit overpaid because of his productivity. Leonard Fournette, I don't know, because he went from where he was originally at Jaguars and he went over to Tampa Bay, and now I guess he's. But some of this could be, in my opinion, attributed to the particular offense the coach is running. If the coach is a more pass-friendly coach, then it's going to hurt the running back. If the coach is a more running back-friendly coach, then it could help the running back. But if he's one that mixes it up, like Belichick, for instance, depending on what team he played, if the pass was more effective, he would pass more. If the run was more effective, he would run more. So they got to take that into consideration as well. But Dalvin Cook, if I'm not mistaken, he got picked up by the Jets. He's now a Jet. I'm not sure. Ezekiel Elliott got picked up by somebody else too. I can't remember who it is.
Yeah, but not at probably what they were asking for.
Oh, for sure. And Kareem Hunt, I can kind of understand too, right? Because in Cleveland, you have Chubb and you have Hunt.
That was the best backfield.
I agree.
2 years ago in the whole NFL.
I agree. But if you had to pick one, right? Because obviously with the contracts or whatever, you might not be able to keep both of them. So I would take Chubb over Hunt too, you know? The fact that nobody has picked them up yet is kind of jarring. Because I know there's teams out there that need running backs. Hunt's good.
I guarantee you right now, though, like Isaiah Pacheco was a 7th round rookie last year, and because Clyde Edwards-Helaire got hurt, he got to play, and he became the Chiefs' starting running back. And he did everything. He's really good. He helps our offense set things up the way we like to. But in 3 years or whenever his rookie contract ends, even if he has numbers and he comes out and thinks, "Yo, I'm a star," I want to get paid, they're going to let him go, guaranteed, because there's somebody coming up in college that's going to be just as good and younger that's going to take a lesser deal. And that's the problem. And this again goes back to people like Ezekiel Elliott and Dallas Cowboys. They set the standard for why you don't pay million, like 250 million or whatever. Ezekiel Elliott got. I know it wasn't that much, or maybe it was. I don't know. Anyways, they set the standard. And then teams woke up and said, well, wait a minute. No, you can have all the numbers you want, but how about this? And this is what I think the teams are going to go to. And I think the Chiefs are trying to do with Chris Jones. Set up, here's a baseline. We're going to pay this much. If we get back to the playoffs, if we get back to a Super Bowl, if you do, 1,500 or not, 1,200 yards in a season, if you get 10 touchdowns, we're going to load it in the back end for tons and tons of benefits if you hit these numbers and if we do these things. And then their contract will become what they want it to be. They just don't want to do that. So basically what it's saying is, I don't want to put in the work to get the money. And if they would just say, hey, I'll put in the work and show you, it's going to work out.
That's exactly what happened with Le'Veon Bell. He wanted more than the team was going to give him.
But at that particular time, he was worth it.
No, he wasn't, because then he came to several teams that didn't get anything out of him.
Okay, I'm saying at that particular time. I'm not saying what he did afterwards. At that particular time, he was one of the top 5, top 4, if I'm not mistaken, running backs in the NFL. So he wanted his money then, because he know, in my opinion, that running backs have a short shelf life. So you can't. While you healthy and while you producing, you ask for your money.
But hold on. Here's the thing, though. He may have been one of the top running backs in that time, right? But was it because of him, or was it because of the offense that the Steelers were running?
It don't matter. If I'm producing, pay me my money. Pay me my money.
So let me ask you this. Hold on. Let me ask you this before you go, Chris. So the Steelers do say, you know what? We'll pay you. And then he has the year that he had with the Jets. And then he has the year that he had with the team he went after that, right? Now the Steelers had wasted money on this guy, but he's not performing.
But why would they? Well, okay, I hear what you're saying, but we don't know that. That's for any position. Okay, I'm this quarterback. He's killing it. Just like the rookie season of Dak Prescott. He was killing it. Till he got hurt. Then they still pay this man an absorbent amount of money when he wasn't producing like he was 2 or 3 years ago, and now they kind of mess in the bed. So that can be said for any position.
Exactly, but except quarterbacks are harder to come by than running backs, right? A good quarterback is harder to come by than a running back. The Steelers, when they lost
they
Bus, they put in Porter. When they lost Bus, they put in Porter. He did good. When they lost Porter, they put in I think it was Bell after Connor. He did good, right? So for them, it's like, well, listen, we're going to pay you this much because we think this is how much you're worth. But the Bell obviously thought he was worth more. And when you have these teams, they're more like, to us, it looks like Bell should get that money because he's a beast. But when you have scouts and when you have guys on the sideline that are watching these players constantly, they know how much they're worth. They know. We don't know. We think they're worth, throw the book at them. But when you're on the sidelines, when you're in the organization, when you see what's going on, you may see it a little bit differently. And that's what I think a lot of these teams are seeing with the running backs now is that, well, if you want too much, we can just put someone else in there. He may not be as good, but he may be efficient enough to do what we want to do because we're probably going to pass the ball 10 times, 9 out of 10 times anyways. You know what I mean?
That's a fair argument. Fair argument. Unfortunately, I have nothing to say about that.
Go ahead.
You think Matt Turner makes that man money, and I still got a problem with that.
But I think that what we actually got to see is what happens when you don't pay a guy. He goes and he tries to find his way. Somebody signs him and he does nothing. The Jets took him, and the Jets said, no, he literally fought him all the way. He wanted things a certain way. He didn't get what he wanted, and he didn't play well. And then he came to the Chiefs, and you heard the same thing from the Chiefs. Here's the thing. You see that side of it, and then you see the Ezekiel Elliott side. Yeah, let's give him the money, and then he turns out like crap. That's the thing. So the Pittsburgh Steelers picked right, and the Cowboys picked wrong. That's what that says.
And I'll give you another example because we did the opposite with Antonio Brown. We gave him the money. And then look what happened to him. He started acting a donkey,
A
right?
lot of times that's personality. That ain't skill set.
Yeah, no, I agree 100%. But if you listen to, and I remember watching this interview with Ryan Clark, he had actually told the Steelers that if you give this guy the money, he's not gonna act right. Like even before, for whatever reason, Ryan Clark seen that Antonio Brown was maybe a little bit immature, and that if you give him
immature,
right, and if you give him that money, he's not going to perform properly, or he's going to be a detriment, and that's what happened.
We got 7 minutes left on the hour. I got 2 more topics. We're gonna go very quickly. Next topic, and we can breeze by this really fast. I really don't care about it, but it was an interesting topic that was on First Take. They call it the Dak Prescott experiment. Is it a failure or is it a success?
Ooh, I'm gonna say failure.
I think it's a failure too.
Yeah, I think it's a failure. But again, that goes back to the same type of thing. And he held out for money, and eventually they got lucky and didn't pay him as much as he wanted. But it's the same thing. And that's a big problem Jerry Jones brings to the NFL. He's got the money to blow. It's not like he doesn't care. He wants to win.
Yeah, he's fighting for all the time. He wants another championship before the Grim Reaper comes visit him. And statistically, he's what, 70-something, 80-something years old? So statistic-wise, longevity-wise, he ain't got too many more birthdays. And I'm not trying to say it in a bad or disrespectful way. I'm just facts. But a follow-up question. Failure. Do you think that maybe it was injury that's caused that, or now the lack of his skill set is more to blame than the injury? Because prior to his injury, I thought he was pretty. His trajectory was up. Mm-hmm. Now there seems to be a roof, a cap to his roof, or ceiling, or he's hit the ceiling to his potential.
I think it's almost a combination of the three. I think he when he was younger, he was already hitting the ceiling. 2, I think it's injury, and 3, I think teams started to learn about him. I think teams started figuring it out, and they didn't. And again, going back to Ezekiel Elliott, they didn't have Ezekiel Elliott doing the stuff he was doing, so that hurt him because he couldn't rely on Ezekiel Elliott like he did the first couple seasons they were out there. It's like a combination of all. I don't necessarily think Dak Prescott's a bad quarterback, but I'll tell you right now, if he can stay healthy and they trade him or he can go somewhere else, he might have a chance someplace else. It's just they got to get him in the right scheme. I don't think they've ever been able to really give him what he needed there.
There's a lot of players to be the quarterback of Dallas Cowboys. That's a lot.
100%. Yeah. Pittsburgh will take him.
Of course they will.
Surprise. Last question. Well, last topic. This Monday, August 28th, will be the return of Undisputed. It's been on hiatus for 2 months. Skip Bayless is coming out. He's coming out shooting because he has acquired the playmaker Michael Irvin. He has applied on Fridays. Lil Wayne will be there. He also has acquired Keyshawn Johnson. There's talks that he's even got Richard Sherman for 50 to 100 episodes out a year. So those 3 powerhouses that are very, very knowledgeable in football. I don't know if they're as versatile in other subjects like Shannon was, because Shannon was more versatile for his baseball. I've seen him talk about hockey. I've seen him talk about basketball. I don't know if they're going to have that versatility or they're going to do the homework and have the commitment that Shannon has. But he has 3 top-notch persons to debate against him across the table. Do you think that's going to improve the show? 1 and 2. Just yesterday, Alonzo showed me a clip. Shannon Sharp has joined forces with Stephen A. And Stephen A. said on Mondays and Tuesdays, Shannon Sharp will be on the show debating him. Which show do you think is going to be the best? And that debuts on September the 2nd, if I'm not mistaken. Undisputed will reveal his new show New theme by Lil Wayne, and the new host. I mean, the new debaters, which again would be Michael Irvin, the playmaker, Keyshawn Johnson,
And
Richard
Sherman,
Sherman,
Richard Sherman, yeah.
and then Lil Wayne on Fridays. So, what are your
And
thoughts
I
on that?
and I think they're also gonna have Molly's gonna one of those chicks. Sorry, one of those girls that used to be
Rachel,
Rachel. Yeah, Rachel Nichols.
yeah,
Yeah,
Mhm.
she's gonna be
she's
on the
gonna be the
show too as
moderator.
well. I think I think Skip is doing. He's kind of copying Stephen A's format, right?
I
Because
thought that too, but then I
Yeah.
saw the Dreamers Pro show, and that guy brought it back to attention in Cold Pizza. That was Skip original format.
yeah, yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
okay, that's what he
And
used to do.
then
Exactly.
Stephen A did it once Skip left first
Yep.
take, and now Stephen A has got it, and he's doing very well with it. And now Skip is going back to it. Now, I'm upset because I think Michael Irvin. I ain't upset about Keyshawn. I've never been really a big fan of Keyshawn. He's okay. I'm not going to dispute his knowledge of the basketball and what he brings to the table. But I love Michael Irvin skit with Stephen A on First Take. And Stephen A was really fighting for Michael Irvin. I'm a little sad and disappointed that he's going over there, but I'm glad the brother's back on TV. But this is going to be very interesting. I am really excited to see what Money's going to look like, and then the following Money's going to look like on First
Me
Take.
too. I'm excited to see how Shannon and Steven are
Stephen A.
gonna be. I'm excited to see how oh my god, Skip
Skip.
and Michael Irvin is gonna go. Even Skip and Sherman, right? Richard
Yeah.
Sherman,
Could have
because
some
those guys,
hostility there.
yeah. So
Yeah.
that might be a little bit interesting too, and maybe Richard Sherman is going to be able to handle a lot of the criticism that Skip is going to push out, right?
Yeah.
So I think Shannon might have Skip might have been a little bit butthurt by what Skip said, and that's why he left the show. And I understand it
Exactly.
because they
He
never
was
really had
he
that
was
kind
a
of dynamic
lot
before.
butthurt when I can. Some of the Skip, the one thing I didn't like when Skip was talking about he's jealous of Tom Brady, and that he was just better than you. Like if that's your boys, man, y'all supposed to be boys. And Skip always proclaimed that that's my brother, and like, man, you don't do that on national TV. You have fights be off the screen. When you come on here, man, you're supposed to be like a united front, so to speak. You have your differences against particular topics, but you don't get personal like that.
Yeah.
Especially when you're only like 5'10", 150 pounds, and you going against this big 240, 50-pound bull that look like a black Incredible Hulk. Nah, it ain't
I
smart.
think I think they're both going to be as good as they were before. There's a ton of people who love Skip Bayless. I mean, well, let me ask you this: do you guys watch Jim Rome or listen to Jim Rome at all?
I don't.
No.
Most people don't like him. A lot of
Tell
people
me to
think
stop.
he's a pump. They say he's a pompous ass, but he's got a ton of people who watch him. I guarantee you
Oh, everybody
that,
does.
yeah, Undisputed will be just fine, and I think First Take will be too. I don't think it's going to be an issue. I think they're both going to keep their fans and if anything, it might help both shows because now people might watch both.
I think both shows are going to get a big boost, right?
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
now who's going to
That
do it
initial
better.
boost, yeah.
Yeah, who's going
Who's going to sustain it?
exactly.
Yeah, it's like the old late night wars.
I have a feeling that Skip might take the edge over.
I think initially, but I think as it levels out, I don't know because I don't know. It's interesting to see because I went back. Watching the first takes with him and Michael Irvin. And Michael Irvin had this skit he would call "Keep It Spinning."
Yeah, yeah.
If you watch all of that skit with him and Ryan Clark, man, it is funny. It is hilarious. I didn't realize it until Stephen A. made me aware of it on his podcast. And that Dan Lebertard, oh my God, he went off on that one you sent me today.
Oh yeah.
He went off. Is it Don or Dan? Dan
Yeah,
Lebertard.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So
See, I didn't even watch the end of that video. I gotta watch
boy,
it because I just.
after he talked about Shannon signing,
uh
boy, he went in. I mean, he went in hard.
Well,
Yeah, yeah, but him and Shannon been having some issues too, right? So,
Who?
not Shannon, him and Dan Levitar and
Yeah, oh
Steven
yeah, because he
going
said
back and
that
forth.
Stephen A. And he hates Stephen. He hate what Stephen A. and Skip has done to sports media
Sports,
because
yeah.
it seems that Skip will find hate LeBron, who Dan Levitar loves, and find a black man. He said this that yells and screams, and that's the form that he uses, and that all Stephen A. does is yell and scream, and is hurting and diminishing the sports talk debate
Yeah.
genre.
Yeah.
I'm like, whoa.
I kind of agree with that though, like because sometimes they have these takes where it's like, come on, you really don't believe that. You know what I mean? Like for me, I think the worst is Nick Wright. I cannot
Nick
stand this
Wright is the
fucking guy
worst. Nick
whatsoever.
Wright says stuff. He's trolling,
Yeah,
but I
I
don't.
hate him.
And then they found out that he works for them. So
Yeah,
how can you believe what he says if this person's paying you? Because this person, you could totally hate him. I could totally hate, for instance, let's say Oreos. I hate
hmm
Oreos. But Oreos sending me a check every month, $1 million. Guess what? I'm gonna be eating every flavor
facts.
Oreo that they make. So you can't. I'm
hmm
not credible.
hmm
So Nick, I didn't really like Nick right now when I first even saw his takes and stuff. And now that I found out that he is actually associated with and getting
hmm
checks from Clutch Sports, I don't believe nothing he said about LeBron James because it could all be something they tell him to say. Man, you better say this right here if you want this check. So,
That's all
And it's
media.
just and it's
but I
just
don't know
even
it
with
until I know it. Then, but we know that for a factual.
right.
So
And Stephen A even said it. Like he'll say that LeBron James is the second best, and Clutch Sports will come to him and be like, "Yo, that's disrespectful." You know what I mean? Stephen A said, like, how was that disrespectful to say he's number two?
yeah,
So it's like you can't say anything bad about LeBron when it comes to these shows, and that's
but
why I think a lot of them are biased. You know what I mean? Like Skip, he says shit about LeBron, but he also makes sure he has someone on there who's going to, counteract
yeah,
and big up
exactly.
LeBron.
So let's say the three of us on here, and a poll came out that said Danny or Chris or Anzo. Anzo, you're number two. Chris, you're number three. Danny, you are the fourth best YouTuber on the planet. Do you think I'm gonna be mad at that? Because the
Be
fourth best probably get a fat check. It ain't fat as the
facts,
third, or the second, or the first. But I wish somebody would say, Danny, you're the fourth best YouTuber
facts,
on the planet. Thank you very
facts,
much. I'm
facts
not
for
gonna be
real.
offended by that at all. Like, okay, thank you. You're on the Mount Rushmore of YouTubers.
hmm
Thank you. I appreciate it. Send
Would
the
you
check. Make sure
strive
that
to be number one?
yes,
Absolutely.
but
But
if
would you
Yes.
sit there
but if
crying because you're not?
no, no. You
No.
My
paying people to
paychecks
come
would
on
be
there and
enough.
say no. Danny's number one. They know Danny fine. My check coming in the bank. I got a bunch of zeros behind it. I'm good to go, brother.
Facts. 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 You know what I mean? Listen, we all like competition. We all like to be number one, right? But if I was number two, so
Yeah.
be it.
If you just don't, some statistics, he's better than Michael Jordan. There's no doubt in my mind. High scoring, rebounds, assists, he better. Okay, and far as his things he done off the court, he is a better philanthropist. I won't say philanthropist because Michael Jordan paid a lot of money, but activist, a better
Activists,
activist
yeah.
than Michael Jordan. No doubt in my mind. No doubt in my mind. There's no blemishes on his resume. There are some blemishes on Jordan's resume, but if I'm telling you right now, if it's some kind of magical power and I could see my grandparents or my nephew, who I love, who died of drowning 2 or 3 years ago, you get one day to spend with him, and you got to pick this guy or this guy. I'm picking Michael Jordan, Michael Jeffrey Jordan, every day, twice on Sunday, to play for me the ability to see my child. That's just how I feel, my nephew, because Michael Jordan was more feared. He had played more mind games. He got that dog in him that LeBron James just don't. I don't care how bigger he is than Michael Jordan. He may be bigger, but I don't think he's any faster or quicker than Michael Jordan. I just don't.
I feel
Yeah.
you. No, you're right.
Yeah.
Well, this was a fantastic start to this season, and I am excited to have more Saturdays. We're going to try and get Roberto, the fourth member of the Beatles, I guess, to join us if he ain't out there hitting balls and mulligans and holes in one and all that good golf
So
stuff. Go ahead.
before we close it up, though,
All right.
I gotta bring this up because I said I couldn't wait for Square One to talk
Okay.
about this shit,
I'm gonna give you the
right?
floor, buddy. I'm gonna give you the floor.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So we've had this argument many times where we've talked about load management in basketball, right? And everybody and their sisters likes to blame Popovich for that. So I did some research because I was watching Colin Hurd or whatever this guy did, and it really pissed me off, right? So I went back and I looked. So in 2016, which was Tim Duncan's last season, he played 61 games. Now that season, I'm pretty sure Pop left him out because he was old. 2014, Tim Duncan played 77 games. 2013, he played 74 games. Now there's 82 games in a season, right? Just guys, so I know that don't watch, right? 2012-13, 69 games. 2011, 2012, 58 games due to injury. 2010, 2011, 76 games. So is that load management? Like, how many games do you think someone has to sit out for it to be load management? What happened was is the Spurs were playing a lot of back to back, and he left them out one game against the Miami Heat, and I believe that was in 2014. And that's when everybody started talking about this load management shit that supposedly Popovich has started, which he didn't. So now we're going to go to Manu Ginobili. And just remember, Manu Ginobili has always been injured prone. I don't think he's ever played a full season without injuries. So his last year was 2018. He played 65 games. 2016, he played 69. 2015, he played 58. Guaranteed that was an injury season. 2014, 70. 2013, 14, 68. 2012, 13, 60, and 2011 and 2012, 34. Now, a lot of those times he didn't play is because he was injured. Tony Parker with the same thing, and I do have him up here. 2019, that was with the Hornets. He played 66 games. In 2018 with the Spurs, he played 55 games. And a lot of those end ones too, just to be sure, is they were coming off the bench. Manu Ginobili was coming off the bench. So Popovich may be like, we don't need you this game. Sit on the bench. You know what I mean? So those are the things. What else? 2016, 63 games. 2015, 72. 2014, 68. 2013, 68. 2012, 66. And 2011, 2012, 60. So,
This article here that I'm reading says NBA players today do not hesitate in letting the public know that they won't be playing certain games. This became a trend after the San Antonio Spurs started this practice to help prolong the careers of Tim Duncan, Manu Ginobili, and Tony Parker. Since then, other teams have followed suit.
right. That is the narrative. But I just played to you how many games these players have played during their season. If you're playing 77 games and there's 82 games, that means you missed 5 games. Is that load management?
That's low management because if I work and pay for them high price tickets, that's probably about 500 or 600 bucks, and it's one of them 5 games you're not playing because you're tired, then I have missed out my opportunity. I think you're a bum, Tim Duncan, Manu Ginobili, and Tony Parker. That's load management. You should
So,
play all 83 games like Michael Jordan did.
okay, so Michael Jordan, first off, was
I'm
the
messing with you,
last
bro.
one.
I'm messing
You
with
know,
you.
I know, but I'm just saying, Michael Jordan, honestly, was really like one of the last guys to ever play like 82 games. Like, you know what I mean? Like, but that was the era that it was,
What up, Rob?
But I'm saying there were times where, they were injured or stuff like that. But
Yeah.
people just want to use that narrative as it was San Antonio that started it because he did it for that one game in
Yeah.
Miami,
I
you
think it's
know?
just like, Lord, this gonna set Rob off. I hope not. Just like some people heard the word "Grey Jedi" and it
Hmm.
takes off because it fits a certain narrative. It fits a
Right.
certain way that a Jedi is perceived. Somebody heard that one thing, load management, it sticks. Now Kawhi Leonard, he took it a step further. Kawhi
Hmm.
Leonard says, "Yeah, load management. Yeah, that sounds good. It's gonna prolong mine. If I don't feel like doing it, I can say I got an injury." Because he load managed for like a half a season on one of them seasons. I'm not sure what it is.
Facts.
So whether or not load management is actually a real thing in that particular example that you just said, It probably wasn't. I give you that. I give you a little bit of jump about San Antonio Spurs, but really,
Mhm.
but there's some people that took that though, and they expounded upon it, and now load management is real, and
Absolutely.
there should be something in the contract. I don't know what how they can do it, because I don't want these back to back games are tough on the body for these NBA
Hmm.
players. I have no doubt on that. But if it's like a marquee team, like let's just say the team got a winning record, you should be playing. Now, if this team ain't
Absolutely.
got a chance of making the playoffs, okay, I can see taking. I'm playing.
Taking the night
Let's
off. Yeah,
say
yeah.
the Lakers one night. Then the next time I'm playing, who
The
sucks?
Bobcats.
Yeah, the Bobcats. Okay, if I want to take that off, yeah, okay, I ain't got no problem with that. But if you're a winning team, if you consistently make it to the playoffs, you're in the play-ins, whatever. You should be playing if you're not injured. That's just my opinion because you're getting
I
paid
agree.
way too much money to be sitting on the sideline. Plus, again, these fans. Some of these fans only going to get to see you one, maybe two times in their whole life. So
Facts.
it's going to be very disappointing. You're a LeBron James fan, or you're a whoever's
Kevin
in there now,
Durant.
Kevin Durant, Steph
Mhm.
Curry, Clay, whoever, whatever your fan is, and they taking that off. I'd be a little disappointed. So that's all I'm saying.
And
Well,
I
you
agree
know,
with you 100%. But
the
I'm just
Lakers
tired
got
of people blaming the Spurs for it. You know what I mean? When,
Gotta blame somebody. Might as well blame
yeah,
them.
well, the Lakers got called out for it years ago because people started noticing, well, why do the stars not show up on the nights that certain people are sitting? And then it came out that they literally, like, agents and coaches were calling these stars or the stars people and saying, hey, by the way, so and so's not going to play tonight, so nobody would show up.
that
And
would make sense to me. And
yeah,
LeBron has
and so
been doing it a lot now. You know what I mean?
so I don't know. I mean, I don't think it's any one person's thing. I mean, yeah, barring injury and barring some other reason, I mean, I guess if you're a player, you should be playing.
I agree with you 100%. If you ain't injured, I don't, and like Danny said, I know you may want to take the Bobcats off, but even if you're not injured and you're playing the Bobcats, you play, right? Because Popovich always says you have to have respect for the game. So now, if you
Exactly.
just don't want to play because you're playing the Bobcats, then that means you have no respect for the team that you're playing, even though they're garbage, right? So I think you should have at least a little bit of respect for the game to at least play. And I
You
agree
can have
with that.
respect for the game and not have respect for the team. I think that's possible.
Yeah,
I
it's possible
respect
too. It's
NFL, but
possible
I do
too.
not want to see
It's possible too.
Detroit Lions on the first game of the night. I don't understand why the NFL even booked that. I don't understand that, and I love football, but Detroit. If you turn on a team and you see something like Detroit, and who else is that?
35-3.
Who's another
You know
crappy
what I
team?
mean?
Detroit and who? My team, Washington, opening night. Who wants to see that? I don't even want to see that, and I'm a fan of Washington. I don't want to see that.
Yeah, I wouldn't watch that game either.
Yeah, or Pittsburgh and the Browns. Anybody want to see that mess?
Hey, that would be a good game
Looking like
because
Tom out there
division rivals, that would
looking
be
like
a good
old
game.
bulldog. I'm be like,
Stop hating.
shut up,
Stop hating.
Mr. Tom. They call me
Stop
Mr.
hating.
Tom. All right,
Last
people,
thing before we go,
go ahead.
congratulations to Tony Parker, Greg Popovich for making it.
Making it to the Who Care. Who cares about them clowns made it to the Hall of Fame?
And congratulations to the Spurs for the number one draft pick, Victor
Oh God.
Wembanyama, 7-footer, who is going to take us to the promised lands once more. 20 more years of excellence, baby. Let's
Oh my.
go.
When is Popovich retiring? He's got to be at least 100 years old
Actually, he
now.
just signed another 5-year
Oh my
contract, became one of the
God.
highest paid coach in the NBA
Oh
right
my
now.
Lord. Why?
Yes, sir.
Why are y'all keep sending this man? Let's go get out of here. Mr. Knight, tell people where they can find you at and what's going on in your neck of the woods, sir. I guess not. Alonzo, where can the people find you? And tomorrow we got the roundtable.
Yes, sir. Tomorrow night will be the first episode of the Ahsoka Roundtable, where we're doing episode 1 and 2. I think we're going to start at 8 o'clock EST time for that because, we're going to try and get through both episodes. So that should be very interesting. I think we're going to have a lot of device views on that. So we'll see. Maybe not. You know, also will be Wednesday the OOC. Monday we'll actually be doing Chris's show, Chaos, Rule of Three on
Yeah,
Chaos Central. So make sure to check that out. And yeah, that's about it, man. It's great to be back on Square One again. Let's
good
do
deal.
this.
Mr. Knight, what's going on in your neck of the woods, sir?
Tomorrow, of course, going to be on the Ahsoka Roundtable. Probably going to do game night or weekly wrap up tomorrow. Monday, like just said, Rule of Three. And of course, I'm happy to be back here with Square One also. Looking forward to more conversations about the Chiefs kicking ass and the Jets wishing they were the Chiefs. So,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay.
And we will be doing our football thing this year as
yes.
well. So let's see how that one goes. So we'll have fantasy and our football picks every week.
All right. Good deal.
All right.
And I'm your host, Danny Graham, and I am very much glad to be back on Square One. If you're tuned into this channel, Monday through Fridays, I do a show called The Road to Wisdom, where I do a quote of the day, word of the day, and also a scripture of the day. Please tune in. I'm also on the round table tomorrow. That's going to be interesting with Ahsoka. Anzo and I watched earlier this week. Kind of mixed reviews. I don't hate
Oh,
it, but I'm definitely not in love with it.
and
But
if you're free,
hopefully
we're
getting
doing
better.
it again, eh, Danny?
Oh yeah, okay. Next
Cool.
Tuesday. Tuesday,
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
I'll be there.
Yes, sir.
Also, Sunday nights you can catch me on Storms Live. Robert Storm, me, Guy Scar, DJ, the Token Black guy, and Adam. And Monday nights, of course, I'm with these two guys here. We be on the Rule of Three, Chris's show. And man, I tell you, I was happy when I said, man, I got a free Saturday. I hope the rest of the guys can be free and we're able to get back, get into the football talk. We have some pretty good topics, and I have some more ready for us next week. So, until then, everyone, please take it easy. Please share this whenever you hear that we're going on, because we'll be back hopefully next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. Until then, peace.
Peace.